Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Rofane. I'm Rofane Mudise, and we're going to have a very interesting conversation. And we're talking about music, and I love music. I think everyone loves music. But we're talking about it from an East African context, which is so exciting. And we have a big celebrity from Tanzania, and the crowd goes wild. Hi, Mimi Mars.
Yay! Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Excited. Like, you're like the biggest celebrity
I'm
ever.
excited too.
You got such a crazy following.
Yeah,
Like, how did it get it? How did you get it? Like, how did your journey start?
yeah. It's been years and years and
Yeah.
years of up and down, giving up and stopping and then getting back up. So it's been a journey.
Yeah.
It's been a journey.
How did you get into? Was it music first? Was that your first love, and then acting, or the creative space just kind of merged into one?
I started off as a TV presenter, and that went into music, and then that went into acting. So it all just went in hand, and
Yeah.
we're here now.
And then how was the industry then when you started? Because you said it took you years to start, and
Yes.
how was it then? Because I have it from a Southern African perspective, and how you kind of break into this creative space, especially when it comes to acting or singing for you as well. So how's it that side in East Africa?
It was hard. I remember as I started, music was hard, acting was
What does
hard.
hard mean?
Like there was a lot of rejections and
Yeah.
judgment, so it was hard. And I'm a person who like is very shy and
Shy?
very, unfortunately, very shy and someone who was not very 100% about myself. Like I wasn't sure. I wasn't like, I can do it. I can take it. So I was like, ah. So it was hard for me because in a country that I come from, Tanzania, you have to be someone who's like really bold to
Yeah.
get what you want and for people to actually accept you. So I was a person who was like, after rejection, I'm just like, okay, that's not for me, then let me not try. So that's how it went with acting. At first I was trying to ask big directors and actresses, be like, can you like put me in your movie or series as an extra? And then they're like, oh no, we've never seen you acting, and
Jeez, yeah.
we don't know what you can do, so we're not gonna put ourselves in that vibe of putting you in there. And then so I'm like, oh, okay, you're not gonna fight with them, so you just take it. So then I decided to go into music, and I did music. I started, and there was a whole competition between me and my sister because she was a bigger artist then.
Right. So she was also a musician.
Yes.
So you have to kind of navigate family relations,
It was
and you
so
want to,
hard because every time you release something, anything you put out there, they're like, "Oh, you sound like your sister. This is like your sister. Oh, you want to be like your sister." So there was nothing ever about Mimi Mars. It was always about your sister, your sister, your sister. So that kind of broke me, and then it was making me feel like, maybe I don't want to be in this thing as well. Let me just let it go. But I kept trying, kept going, and eventually it picked up, and then
Yeah.
the comparison of me and my sister dropped. So everyone just started seeing me as Mimi Mars and
Yeah.
my music and what I do, and I started getting performances, and so it became beautiful, and that gave me strength. I'm like, yeah, finally I'm able to be on my own side, without people comparing me to, the older one, So it became easier. I tried, but then again, there's more difficulties in between
course.
that just make you want to be like, should I really continue with this, or should I just stop, or should I? So yeah.
It's so interesting to me that you say that you kind of kept going. So was it through connections and the network that you were able to build as you kept progressing and getting rejections and saying, well, call me if there's an opportunity?
For sure.
What mechanisms did you use? Did you use social media to kind of keep yourself out there? Because oftentimes with creatives, if you don't get a job or a major job or aren't on a stage, I'm assuming, I'm not necessarily a creative myself, but you kind of sit back and just wait for an opportunity.
Yeah.
So what mechanisms did you use to kind of propel yourself?
To be honest, social media wasn't like a big spot back then when I was starting. So it was connections. You had to have connections with people who make these shows and all these concerts. So you like speak to them like, oh, hey sis, or hey bro, like, oh, you're doing this. Oh, can you just put me also as well? So sometimes you do like free shows, and so you can just, so people know that you're there, So you had to have connections with people, and if you didn't know the people, you'd have to know somebody, and you'd be like, I know you know somebody, can you help me connect me with them so I could get an opportunity? And then sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, they're not like that, you'd have to know them directly, I can't just call you and connect them. So I was like, oof,
As a
it was a
lot.
struggle. You
Yeah.
have to like, okay, sometimes you just sit down and wait and be like, okay, maybe I'll get a call. So it was a combination of many things. Yeah.
And then do you think that's still the state today where artists don't want to work for free, we don't want our starving
Yep.
artists? But then again, my question is, now it's a bit different as an emerging artist to want to do things for free because you don't want to be exploited.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the rules of back then are still very much relevant now in terms of you wanting to be known and kind of doing favors and so on. Do you think that's the case right now in East Africa, especially for emerging artists?
Not really, because right now it's become bigger. And now the only thing that's a problem right now is you get called for shows, but you don't get paid what you think your value is or what your value is supposed to be paid, but because you already got that phone call, you're like, okay, I'll take it. If it was like $500 is your price, and then someone comes and says, I have 250. And you're like, oh man, okay, cool. Let me just take the 250 because I get to do the show and I get to please my fans and give entertainment. So now it's easier. It's not like back then where you really have to have super connections. So now it's like, because everyone's like using social media, and then with all of that.
Let's speak on that with the social media. Your
Yeah.
following is ridiculous. The comments, everyone's like, oh my God, I love you. It's like this cult following that you have.
Oh my goodness, God.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And then do you guys leverage that? Because Tanzania, you guys have a population for it.
Yes.
So do you think that's something that you guys are able to kind of really leverage on
For sure.
in terms of the population? Because I know with maybe American artists, I'll just use them as an example, they have the population of you being as a creative, like as an artist, if you as an influencer or a creative, you're able to really in this large following, and then a record label notices that, or a TV program notices that, and then you're like, oh, actually, also I sing, and then boom, you're good. So is that what you guys leverage on, like social media?
Yeah,
and the
social media is
population?
like the biggest plan for us right now, because the more followers you have, the more engagement you have, the more reels and challenges that people do. So even these people that want to give you a job or a show or an influencer stuff, they're like, oh man, yeah, we need to use this person. You see, they have a following, they have a big connect. So it's become easier now.
Tell me this though, because you started quite you've been at it for a long time,
yeah.
But my question is again, I don't want to be controversial, but those who actually do have the talent versus those who have the talent following. And I've seen this in acting, I've seen this in the music space, where opportunities are given to those, or not even just record label, brands would want to work with someone who's gotten over 100,000 followers or millions of followers, as opposed to someone who's got maybe 50,000 followers, and they're really good. It's just that they're not willing to do the social media stuff. And so it just seems kind of like an imbalance between the integrity of the art itself versus the following. So, what's your take on that?
I mean, it's sad because, like you said, a lot of people with the real talent who are not so open on social media, they lack a lot, because right now people only look at people with numbers and followers, and their pages are exciting and they're always posting, and they're like, on a daily, like everyone's always talking about them every day. So you might not have the talent, but because you have the people, the job will be given to you. But if you have the talent and you're not so active on social media, they're like, what will this one bring for us? So it's a problem. It's a very big problem, and it's sad because you see a lot of people with good talent, and then you're just like,
But you're saying this because you have a gazillion followers.
No, this was me like years back as well.
You've been reeling it in,
So they're like, you have to have followers. When you have followers, that's when they see you as a person who's doing something, or you have to be consistent with your content. If you're not, they're not even gonna be on your page, because they know, how are they gonna get people on their side for them if you're not active? So it's a sad situation, but that's what's going on now.
Yeah. And then in terms of just innovation within the industries, the creative space now, because you're both in music and acting, how do you constantly keep yourself relevant? Because, you'd see even celebrities that we've been following for a very long time, and I'll just give again an American
Yeah.
example. Now they have podcasts. It's like there's
Yeah.
this fight to constantly be relevant and
For
to be
sure.
in people's faces and people's ears and so on. So for you, particularly within East Africa, how do you see artists aim to remain relevant and to be in people's faces?
You have to have content always, because if you don't, they forget.
So when you talk about content, what do you mean?
Like you could post yourself, you wake up in the morning, the way your day is going, or post a story of what you're doing. Like your page has to be really active. You have to be posting every day, at least 3 posts or 2 posts, or your story is busy. Like you have to be on, when someone opens social media, you have to be the one on there. If you're not, they're gonna deal with the other ones that are. So it's a situation. For me, to be honest, I'm not a social media person. I've had to try now and had to learn because my new management is always like, you need to post. You
Yeah.
need to post. I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing that. Can I just rest?
Yeah.
You get so tired. But in another way, it's good if you're consistent and you're posting as well, because you get all these jobs like to advertise all these brands and other stuff. So that for me now is what's making me active on social media, because
Right.
every week I have like 3 brands that I have to post. So I'm like, oh, my page is looking
Because
alive.
it's work now,
It's
essentially.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so my manager is like, oh my God, you can't just post work stuff. You have to have your stuff as well. Despite the 3 days that you have to
Yeah.
post,
Yeah.
you have to have stuff about yourself, because with advertisements now, people are going to be like, she's doing an advert, which is true. A lot of posts that I'm doing as an advert don't get as many comments and views like ones where it's just me, a day in life with Mimi, or just chilling, or a picture of just myself, just chilling. So it's hard, but if you need to get the money, you need to make the content.
True.
Yeah,
True.
it's true.
And then, East Africa for me has always been very fascinating.
Yeah.
I know it's interesting because I know that we look at maybe like your Nigerias and South Africa's a lot when it comes to when we talk about music. When they're like, oh, African music, they're specifically talking about
South
them.
Africa, man. For sure.
But then, like, yeah, your Diamond Platinums with that, that song.
But he's doing on a piano
and
now,
he's doing piano, and which is more of a South African type of
Yes.
sound.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think opportunities, or how do you think that artists in East Africa can like leverage from your original sound and what's happening in the rest of the world? And how do you think that the rest of Africa can leverage from the sound and the opportunities that lie within Tanzania, for example?
The best part about Tanzania is that we're very diverse. We have like a lot of cultures in our country. So even our music is like Indian, Arabic, Swahili,
Yeah.
but also the artists they can create things using the same bongo flavor beats, but combining it like an amapiano, an Afro beat, which makes them get collaborations from people from other countries, which is good because it moves them as well. And then they get known more. So it gives them more fans and more money. So, it's something that's good, because even when people hear that, they're like, this one's from Tanzania. Okay, what do Tanzanian music do?
Right.
So they go into bongo flavor and they listen, they hear the tarabs, and then they're like, oh, wow, this is interesting. So some of them also take some of the stuff from it and put it in their songs as well. So I feel like it's something that really builds both sides, and I feel like with Africans, our music is beautiful. It's
Right.
amazing. Like even that's why people from the States right now are coming to use like Afrobeat and
You guys had
amapiano,
Shondapa
and
and Da.
you know.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing, and I was the host. So
I
I
saw
saw
you
him like
on that
this.
stage. How was
It was
that, by
fun.
the way?
It was amazing. It was great. It was energetic. Like everyone was so happy. And Sean Paul is, I'll be like, yo, man, you've been here for years, but he's still so good on stage, still has so much energy.
Right.
I'm like, wow, this is nice. I
Yeah.
thought I'd stop music a few years later, but seeing Sean Paul right now, I'm going to go. I'm going to keep going. You just have to have the energy, and like excite people and just do things that make them want to know more about you and be interested in what you're doing and what you're bringing forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier you spoke about your management and how they're telling you post, 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 post.
Yeah.
And then oftentimes, these conversations on record labels exploiting artists and that sort of thing. What are your views and takes on artists being exploited, the roles of managers? And I understand like America's different from
Yeah.
Tanzania
For
or
sure.
South Africa or Botswana. But what then, how do you protect yourself as an artist?
I think at first you have to know your value. And once you get that, you will not allow yourself to just work with anybody who would want to take advantage of you, because that's going to be like a task. It's not going to be something that you're enjoying anymore. You're going to feel like you're being at work like a slave instead of doing work but makes you happy, and you're doing what you're doing
Yeah.
from your heart, and you're
Yeah.
enjoying it. So I feel like the first thing you have to have is pick the right people, like a strong crew that's really going to help you, who understands your value and would not want to, like, you have to work with a label and then the label wants to like share 80-20%,
Sure, yeah.
like, okay, I'm the artist, right? I'm doing the work. And
You're
if I
the
do
talent,
the, yeah, if I'm doing the work right, the money will come, but you don't want to have to get like more of the income than I am, So it should be like a win-win situation. We both have to get it right, but it's sad because most people just want to do that because they're getting the support of, if I have a label now or this manager, they have connects, they're going to help me, my work's going to be easier. But they're not thinking of the fact that in the process of this, they're getting the money. And then you're like getting the money, but it's not lasting, because you have to now pay on things that you have to do
Yeah.
to make your daily life move on,
Yeah.
So it's really sad because people are really now desperate because they want to get to there.
But they want to get there quickly.
That's the thing. So
Yeah,
that's the sad
yeah.
part. So they're like, if I connect myself with this person, these guys will give me money. I'll definitely get videos for free.
Yeah.
They're paying for it. I don't have. But you're putting the music out and you're getting a lot of streams and plays and all these. So the money's coming in, but they're the ones who are getting it. So it's like, it's really sad, to be honest. I wish that they would want to like be certain of who they're combining themselves with as managers or labels, to work as a team, to work as one, where you both win together, where it's not that you're struggling and then they're just living. Because that's always a complaint. If you sit with a lot of people, they're like, oh man, I have this manager or I have this label, we're getting money, we're making money, but I'm not seeing it, but they're getting the money because they don't have to do much. It's like you're getting paid at the end of the month and you have everything sorted for you. But you're the one who has to now get the money, then pay them, then share the shares. So it's like, there's $100,000, but you only end up getting like 200.
Right.
It's sad. It's a thing in Africa, to be honest. I don't know how we're gonna fix it. But I feel like if you have checked yourself well, known your value, know your position, know your work, and then find the right people to join yourself with. Don't just go in because you want to get there,
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I've always imagined that being a celebrity is so unnatural. Being on a stage with hundreds and thousands of people screaming, me. It's so natural, but I'm sure they're like really, the downsides are really down. In terms of your mental health, have you kind of gone through challenges? I know that there was a particular challenge that you've gone through, but are there particular challenges that you've gone through that really kind of showed you that the life you've been living is just, there's a lot of pressure on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Like you feel that every time, when you're releasing a song, when you're on stage, when you're at a meeting, you have to be this other person. You can't be the person that you are at home.
It's like this new persona.
Yeah, you have to. You like have to have two, basically, when you're at home and when you're out as an artist. Which sometimes it's exhausting because you find yourself on and on and on and on, and then mentally you get depressed and unhappy and tired, but you can't even rest, to be honest, because you're like, okay, if I stop now, what's going to happen? It's going to fade out, and then I'm going to fail, and then I will not get what I need to get. So you just, it's exhausting. You get tired, to be honest, and it breaks you sometimes. That's why there's a time where I stopped music completely for a whole year. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm tired. I can't. I don't know if my music is even doing right. I don't know if I'm even getting the right fans. I'm not getting any shows. I'm not getting any brands. So it's depressing. And for the fact that you don't have people to talk to, that's really sad.
So it really is lonely at the top.
It is, for sure. So you need to have like, I don't know, people who can speak to you to help you mentally and, just put you in the right direction. Because if you're alone, it's very stressful.
How cutthroat is the industry? in Tanzania, particularly like with music and with art. Because it's like, oh, she's dabbling in both. So if one fails, it's gonna go to the other. Which is like seemingly it's like both are thriving, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But how cutthroat is it? You have people or artists that are jealous and like all that backbiting, and I can imagine it's not as glamorous as we see it.
At all,
Yeah.
at all. You just have to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna do, because people really do hate on you, and then sometimes people would try and speak to the people that are giving you the jobs to be like, nah, I'm better than Mimi Mars. Why you want to put her all the time? Why you want to use her in this advert? Why you want to use her in this movie? Why do you want to give her the show? Why should she be the one to perform? So there's always that battle. There's that battle for sure. And then you get to hear it from other people, because like when you're sitting down, they're like, yeah, they don't like Mimi Mars. So that when we're in that meeting, they were talking about her. Like, no, we should give somebody else. So it's like a competition. You always have to everyone is trying to be on top. Like everyone is trying to be better than the other person. Like, so if you're the talk and you're the one on top, they'll just find ways to like drop it. So it's so sad, because either way, when you go out, you're still gonna be like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Oh, so good to see you. But you just heard like a week ago that this person or group or management or label was trying to give the deal to the
Crazy.
you have to be very, what's the word? Sarcastic. That's the word. So the only time you can be yourself is when you're at home, because everybody's trying to be on top. So it's like a competition. So everyone is just being really, hi, and then when you turn, they're like, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard, but you have to be really strong. And that's why you have to have the proper team that will just, as females, we really break down like really easily, but you have people to like push you back up. You're like, okay, I can do it. But if you don't, it's
It's
stressful.
really difficult.
It's so hard.
I've also wondered, I've never gotten a chance to also notice this, about the hypersexualization of women.
Yeah.
Especially in the music arts industry. But like, the thing is also, Tanzania is somewhat a conservative, somewhat Muslimish, country.
Very true.
And so there you don't have to, because it's like the Western world kind of set the standard that this is how you should be.
Yeah.
This is the body you should have.
Yeah.
The BBL and all of that.
For sure.
And so, how do you kind of navigate that space of this is what, a certain brand wants you to look like versus your authentic self? How do you kind of balance the two?
It's hard to balance the two, to be honest. Sometimes you're like, okay, because they want you as the artist, you have to go to the artist way. If this is the way they want you to look and you can deal with that, then you do it. If you can't and you have the balls to tell them, I'm not going to do that, I'm so sorry, then you can. But mostly in my country, to be honest, everybody just went, okay, you want me to do this? Okay, I'll do it. So yeah, because they're like, okay, this is the only way I'll be seen. Like, I'm doing something, I'm part of something. So people in my country, unfortunately, that's like the thing. So people are out there faking it, like I bought a new car. It's not even their car, but it's like, like
I think
got
that's
this.
everywhere. That's everywhere.
Yeah, so I feel like it's something that people do to just stay on top. Everybody just wants to be part of something, even if it means demeaning themselves or dropping their grade. They're forgetting that they're brands that are looking, and they're brands that speak to each other, and they're like, if she could do this for you guys now, we can't work with her. We wouldn't want to work with somebody like that.
Interesting.
So it's
people are always watching.
Always, and they're always giving each other the information. They're always, so you might go somewhere and pretend to be this person, and go to another place and pretend to be this, but they'll be like, but we were told that she did this, that side. So why is she acting a different way here? So that's why you have to stick to your value and your trend and the person you are and your character. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess, because you're going to have to go this side. This brand wants you to do this. This brand wants you to do that. At the end of the day, you'll be popular at that moment, but for a short time, because now people feel like, yeah, she's everywhere. She's doing this. We don't know what her character is, to be honest.
What's her brand?
Yeah, what's her brand? We're so confused. Like, today she's doing this, tomorrow she's doing this. That's why you really have to know what brand you're getting yourself into, and if it goes with your character, Don't just do it for the money or for the fame or for, being on top of there, but will your fans actually understand? Like, will they get it? Like, okay, oh, this looks like a brand that she would do. Yeah, this is nice, you know, compared to just like, because sometimes the people in our country, that's the funny part, on social media, the comments is like their place. So if they will tell you something like this is real, okay, and this is fake, or you're lying to us, or like
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
don't even look like you match with this
Yeah.
brand, they have no censors. They will tell you. So you know you need to like, and people read that. The brands read that as well. They're like, oh, you see her comments. Yeah, this is a problem. We can't work with this person. So I feel like people need to just take who they are, build their brands, stick to it, and work with things that go with their brand. Yeah.
So you've been able to kind of explore Southern Africa
Yeah.
and also East Africa. So what main differences are you noticing in terms of just the industry, particularly the music industry? I know earlier we talked about how like really energetic people are, like club culture. The side is
Yo,
just
it's amazing.
crazy, whether it's raining, whether it's
It's
whatever. If
amazing.
the artist is performing, you're gonna be there. Come here and
It's
store. So
great.
what differences have you noticed in terms of the listeners of the music and the artists themselves between the two different countries?
I feel like with South Africa, they don't have like a, you know, in my country, it's more male based. If you're a male artist, that's when you get all the fans and all the, like
Interesting.
everything. But as a female, it's like really, like, you have females that, yeah, deal with you, but like how you were saying, there's some who are Muslims, they're like, oh no, I can't listen to that music because that person's singing about stuff like that. So our country is a bit picky. Not a bit, actually, a lot picky.
Yeah.
And then they're based on the male side a
Oh,
lot. So as a
really?
female, you have to work harder, you know, to be noticed or to
So in
be,
2024, you guys still struggle with the male and female dynamics?
yo, it's Tanzania, my sister. No
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
But in a say, like we were at a show, like, the night before, and the crowd is amazing. The vibe, it was a female DJ, it's a vibe. It's a male
It's
DJ,
about.
it's a vibe. Like like they don't have like that male female like situation. For them, as long as the artist they love it, they're going with it, you know. It's not so. And also with the artists this side, they're just like more of entertainment wise. They're not like, oh, my brand this, my brand that, I have to do this. Like, you're so chilled, you know. We're also chilled, like, yo, look at them, they're so chilled, they're having fun, they look like they're actually having fun, you know, like performing and DJing, and the people are really responsive no matter the weather, you know, because in Tanzania, if you're doing a show and it's raining, it's over.
Especially if you're in Arusha.
Yo,
And it starts raining out of
people
nowhere.
are going home.
That's
But we were there and it was
interesting.
raining. We were even getting rained on. We're getting wet, but people are still hot. They're like, more rain. I'm like, yo, you know, South Africa, this, I need to move here. Like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Because
Yeah.
they love it. They love their people. They love their entertainment. Both the fans and the artists. It's just so much energy, you know? And it doesn't look like the girls have to do the most, like to be accepted here in South Africa compared to
Yeah.
Tanzania. So
So crazy.
it was so nice to see. I was like, oh wow,
Love you.
I love this.
An audience you'd like to perform
You
for.
know, I kept saying, I can't wait for the day I can be on the stage in South Africa, man. I will not
Yeah.
have to do the most because people love you. They,
For who you are.
yeah, you know, you don't have to do the most to like get it. It's so nice. It's,
Yeah.
it's such a different vibe. It's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And then what would you say are your biggest lessons, your top 3 biggest lessons in your journey so far, from the business side of things, from character building, and the person you'd like to be in terms of your personal brand?
To be honest, I'll be a person who, one, I would like to be a person who would stick to my brand always, you know, not change it for anything or anyone else, you know, because that in itself is making me be able to take each day as it goes, you know, no matter how hard work is, but you stick to it, you stick to your values, so you have time to space out for work and yourself so that you're okay mentally and you can move and you can rest. Because if you want to move around all the time, you find yourself not resting. Before you know,
Yeah.
you've gone, your body is tired, you can't do anything, and then you get sick, then you have to now pause. So it's a delay of things, you know. But if you know your brand and you know your value, you can sort all these things. And even when you're talking to people and you're engaging with them that you need to work with, you tell them, okay, but me, it's 1, 2, 3. You know, you're able to state for yourself, you know, as much as you have to be an entertainer and entertain millions of people. Yeah. So the first one is the values and the brands. And the second one is just being really real. You know, I don't want to be a fake person, to be honest. I don't think it's my thing. That's why so many people are like, oh, yeah, she's so real, man. She's so, you know, but also don't put yourself too open to have so many connections with people, because sometimes some people might come with different energies and that might just break you down or just confuse you, you know. So yeah, and then the third, I think third one would be learning more, you know, learning every day to get to know new things and knowing more about my fans and what they need and what they would like and what they enjoy more. So just trying to grow.
Yeah.
You know, not stick to one place, because if you stick to one place in a few years, people will be like, yeah, we're used to her. She doesn't change, you know. So
Right.
get to learn more things and research more. You know, like we came to South Africa. For me, watching the people perform, I'm just like, there's things I've learned and things I've gotten. So it's a nice research, you know, like travel, move around to get to know more and explore more so you can build yourself
Yeah.
in a better way.
And then what can we expect in 2025 from Mimi Mars?
Consistence, to be honest, because I have been a person who was really busy with filming with the series that I'm doing. Yeah. So I didn't have time like to go to the studio because it was filming. But I left that series and now I'm in another one where I set my rules and boundaries with them. So there's that level where I have, okay, time for filming and time for going to the studio, making music. So for the fact that I was able to do that, 2025 is gonna be a year where my fans will definitely get more music for sure, you know, and more entertainment. Yeah, I'm trying to go and do more shows. Like, even if we're gonna do like online shows, you know, I see how people are like doing online shows and then they're on YouTube and stuff and people are watching and they're getting views, you know, so it's nice at least, because it's not like someone can travel all the way from the States to come to Tanzania to watch you perform. But if you put it online, you get entertainment for all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be an active year.
I'm excited for you.
Me too.
I'm excited for you, and I'm so grateful that you set time aside
Thank
to have
you.
this conversation, to kind of speak on your journey, and just really kind of give us insights on what's going on in Tanzania. Like I'll record when I'm there because I love that place so much
Yes,
now.
please do come again and again. Yeah.
And I think it's just so exciting to see how, though Africa, Africa is not a country. And how the different regions within our beautiful continent are so different, but yet we're also similar in terms of entertainment and the creative industry, and there's just so much more emerging talent that's coming from Africa, and that's
Daily.
so exciting
For sure.
for us. And I'd like to hear from you. So if you have any comments and would like to, let us know what you've learned from Mimi, and any criticisms. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's
I know how you guys.
shall accept.
You guys are strong when it comes to that. I don't know how you handle that. I think if I received, like, for my podcast, I remember getting negative feedback.
Yeah. I don't read my comments.
And I was like, excuse you, I'm not Oprah, relax. Like, I'm not just started. So
Don't read the comments. I don't read the comments.
The thing is, I need them though, right?
No, let my team read them.
You
and then they'll come and tell me, they're like, okay, we need one, two. Yeah.
I need to
That's
be
the
as big
major
as
key.
you.
That's the major key.
So I have like 1 million followers and then be as big as Mimi and then have a team. Gotcha.
Strong team, not
strong
just the
team,
team.
eh?
Strong, loyal, hardworking team.
Love that.
For sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mimi.
Thank
It's been incredible. Thank you all for watching and listening. We will see you next time.